Hello there. We're back. Got the recording up and running again, and I've got power in the laptop so we can proceed. However, I didn't realize that it wasn't actually recording video. I'm not sure what's going on with OBS Studio, but apparently all that stuff I was typing was completely hidden to you. So hopefully you can see it now. Let's go back to the very beginning, picking up really where we left off with let's review all of the let's review the situation. So, what is the title of the song? Reviewing the situation. What is the author of the lyrics? I believe that's Lionel Bart. What is the author of the music, or who is the author? Also Lionel Bart. Just double check I got that correct. Reviewing the Situation is the name of the song. The words, the lyrics are by Lionel Bart. Looks like I spelled it correctly. And the music is also by Lionel Bart. So I got that correct. Okay, next thing. Back to the lyrics, actually. So, a man's got a heart, hasn't he? Joking apart, hasn't he? And though I'd be the first one to say that I wasn't a saint, I'm finding it hard to be really as black as they paint. I'm reviewing the situation. Oh, my brain still wants to say the wrong thing. Can a fellow be a villain all his life? All the trials and tribulation, I should settle down and get myself a wife that could sew for me and come for me and go for me. I think this is in like parentheses. I don't know why it's parenthetical in the lyrics of what that means. Like, is it a refrain or something? I don't know. And and go for me. The money she would take from me, the misery she would make of me. This is me guessing. Like, I think once I hit the wife part, I was like, yeah, I kind of remember, but I don't think this is entirely right, and we're gonna see in a moment where it's wrong. Can I guess the lyrics though? Because part of this active recall stuff is to try to remember as far as I can go, right until I'm really, really just completely guessing, and I might be at that point now. The money she would make for me, the misery. I think I got something. I think I better think it out again. A wife you can keep. I don't know. Possibly. A wife you can keep. Possibly. I don't know if that's right, but we'll keep swinging with it. I want to hit one where I'm really just raw guessing here. Like zero confidence guessing, as opposed to like, well, it may be kind of sort of right. Oh, if you can keep possibly, that might be it right there. Let's evaluate. Let's see where we're at with the correctness of these lyrics. So, 3G up to the top. A man's got a heart, hasn't he? Yes. Joking apart, hasn't he? Yes. And though I'd be the first one to say that I wasn't a saint, yep, I'm finding it hard to be really as black as they paint. Yes, that's correct. I'm reviewing the situation. Yep. Can a fellow be a villain all his life? Yep. All the trials and tribulation. Yep. I should settle down and get myself a wife. Better settle down. There's so many, like, I'm a very abstract thinker, and my brain will just find equivalent sentence structures. Like, I'm constantly rephrasing stuff in practice, but that's not good for song lyrics. All right, better settle down and get myself a wife. Better settle down and get myself a wife. So that one was incorrect. And oh, I forgot about cooking. So it's not a wife that could sew for me. It's actually and a wife would cook and sew for me. And a wife would cook and sew for me. And come for me and go for me. And go for me and nag at me. The finger. Oh, I missed a lot here. The fingers. She will wag at me. The money. She would. Not would. Will. This character's pretty conflicted about the idea of getting a wife. And a wife would cook and sew for me and come for me and go for me. I wonder what that means. Does that just mean like doing the things that I ask type of thing? Is that what that's supposed to mean? And I don't know what the refrain and go for me and nag at me. The fingers she will wag at me. The money she will take from me. Not the, but a misery. A misery. Okay, so one of the things I'm getting wrong here is partly the tense of the words. Of is it, will versus would? I should tend to think that it's will. Some of this stuff is put in the future tense. She'll make from me. I think I better think it out again. That was actually correct. A wife you can keep anyway. I'd rather sleep anyway. Left with... I'm just writing it a little bit more to hopefully get something I can recall later. Left without anyone in the world. And I'm starting from now. Okay, we'll see how I do with that. I think that I'm not confident in my ability to get all of that right again, but that's what we gotta practice. So, a man's got a heart, hasn't he? Joking apart, hasn't he? And though I'd be the first one to say that I wasn't a saint. Interesting that that's past tense, if I remember that correctly. Where the stuff about the wife is all perspective, is all not even perspective, but like future simple tense of like it will be. But it's, I think, a hypothetical, because the character in this song, the protagonist of this song, the person whose voice this is somebody who's trying to decide what to do with their future, and one of the possibilities is to get a wife. With a bunch of old-fashioned assumptions about what wives do. And though I'd be the first one to say that I wasn't a saint, I'm finding it hard to be really as black as they paint. I'm reviewing the situation. Can a villain Oh, can a fellow be a villain all his life? All the trials and tribulations. Tribulation, not shuns. Better settle down and get myself a wife. A wife that will, what is it, cook and sew for me. What is the next thing after sewing, though? I remember later on there's nagging and money she will take from me, a misery she will make from me. Fingers she will wag at me. Come for me and go for me and go for me. And I'm not doing a super great job of remembering this at all, eh? All right, let's evaluate. I'm starting to think that I've got the first part down basically correct. The first kind of opening of the song, I think I've got correct. A man's got a heart, hasn't he? Joking apart, hasn't he? And though I'd be the first one to say that I wasn't a saint, I'm finding it hard to be really as black as they paint. I'm reviewing the situation. Can a fellow be a villain all his life? All the trials and tribulation. Better settle down and get myself a wife. Oh, I'm rocking this until I get to this part. So all that's correct, but now we're going to focus on the bad stuff here. The frontier. Okay, so it's not a, although add that will cook for me. Maybe I was thinking a wife that will cook, but it is and a wife. Oh, it is would. Oh, this is more complicated to memorize because the tense flips around here. And a wife would cook and sew for me and come for me and go for me and go for me and nag at me. The fingers she will wag at me. The money she will take from me. A misery she'll make from me. A misery she'll make from me. Interesting that it doesn't say something like make me miserable type of thing. Instead, it's a misery she'll make from me. It's very weird. Some kind of weird poetic nonsense going on here. Okay. And then the character goes, I think I better think it out again. Yeah. Okay. I think this part is going to take some iterations to get at. It's one of the faster parts of the song. There's some slow parts, there's some faster parts. This is one of the faster parts that blasts out a bunch of words in a shorter period of time. I think I better think it out again. Okay, let's try from the top. And I like trying from the top because that gives me enough time to probably forget things. You might be thinking, well, why not jump right into doing the part that you just got wrong? And there is value in that, of like if you're really, really struggling. But I like the idea of practicing in a kind of cumulative way of expanding out to the entire song. It's kind of like how I learned the alphabet, for example, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, da 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 da. And yes, I can sing the whole thing, but I'm not going to. Okay, from the top. A man's got a heart. Hasn't he? Joking apart, hasn't he? And though I'd be the first one to say that I wasn't a saint, I'm finding it hard to be really as black as they paint. I'm reviewing the situation. Can a fellow be a villain all his life? All the trials and tribulation. Better settle down and find myself a wife. And a wife would cook and sew for me, and come for me and go for me and go for me and nag at me. It's like this stuff is kind of, from the protagonist's view, positive, of going, here's a couple of things that a wife would do, here's a couple of things a wife would do, and then a kind of refrain, which I'm not sure what that means, but maybe it's something like, for my sake would leave me, or maybe it's just echoing this stylistically of saying it again for emphasis. Go for me. I'm not sure. Not really sure. And nag at me. The finger she would wag at me. I'm kind of half singing it because I think that the tune can be helpful, but I know I'm off in terms of the tone and stuff. But hey, I'm learning this in little pieces here. Okay, so, and a wife would cook and sew for me and come for me and go for me and go for me and nag at me. The fingers she would wag at me. The money she would take. She will, I think, will. The money she will take from me. A misery she'll make from me. I think I better think it out again. A wife you can keep anyway. I'd rather sleep anyway. Okay, now I think I did not too bad there, but I still want to see if I can guess a little further. I'd rather sleep anyway. No, I got nothing. I really should guess something, anything. The rule is guess something. Okay, I think I better think it out again. A wife you can keep anyway. I'd rather sleep anyway. I feel like whatever the next lyrics are, they're gonna follow the tune of do 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 do. Well, maybe this is the part where it's all my friends have been villains and thieves. All my friends have been villains and thieves. This isn't quite right, like even if this is the right lyrics in the wrong spot type of thing. How do I spell thieves? I think it's that way. And all of my friends have always been villains and thieves. I'm finding it hard to turn over new leaves. Oh, that's Something like that is later in the song. Let's see how we did. Let's see how I did. Okay. A man's got a heart, hasn't he? This is getting back to the easy stuff. Joking apart, hasn't he? Yep. And though I'd be the first one to say that I wasn't a saint, yep, I'm finding it hard to be really as black as they paint. Yep. I'm reviewing the situation. Yep. Can a fellow be a villain all his life? Yep. All the trials. Yep. And tribulation. Yep. Better settle down and get myself a wife. Ooh, it's not that. So all that was correct. Get myself a wife. Not finding, you're getting. Go-getters here. Better settle down and get myself a wife. Okay. And a wife would cook and sew for me, and come for me, and go for me, and go for me, and nag at me. The fingers she will wag at me. The money she will take from me. A misery she'll make from me. I think I better think it out again. A wife you can keep anyway. I'd rather sleep anyway. Oh yes. So this is just wrong. So this piece was wrong because I said find instead of get. Future reference. And I'm just going to type out the next line because I feel like I got to it, but I didn't get it at all. Left without anyone in the world, and I'm starting now. Oh, so the next word which I can see on the page is so. Let me guess what fills that in. Left without anyone in the world, and I'm starting from now. So how to make friends and to influence people. So how, maybe? So how to, oh, not win, make friends. This is all about the winners here. How to win friends and to influence people. Oh, it's not bad. I'm impressed with myself. You don't have to be impressed. So how to win friends and to influence people. So how? And then back to the, I'm reviewing the situation. And then this is the funny part of like this is the lyric I was trying to say very near the beginning of all of this incorrectly. I must quickly look up everyone I know. Let's keep going. Riffing on titled People with a station. The sort of people that can put on a really good show? That doesn't seem right. It seems not super far from wrong semantically. Maybe it's just with a station, people that can put on a really real impressive show. With a station that can put on a real impressive show. Maybe. Who? Who can help me? Who can help me? Who can help me make, not put on a show, make a show. And not just any show, a real impressive show. I must quickly look up everyone I know, titled people with a station. Who can help me make a real impressive show? Okay, the next part, reading at the bottom of the page, just to see how far. We're kind of doing the opposite now. We're now just kind of skipping along, because I feel like I don't know. There's no rhyme or reason to this. It's like at one instance I'm saying I'm doing stuff for one reason, then I change my mind. We'll go back to doing the old way in a little bit, but I kind of just want to keep pushing through the song. So the next lyrics, which I can read, I will own a suite at, and if I remember right, without turning the page, at like Claridge's, and own a fleet of carriages and wave at all the duchesses with friendliness as much as suits my station. Something I don't know. Let's see. I will own a suite. A suit? Suit? Now I'm forgetting basic English words here. Let's quickly check this out on the internet. A set of rooms. A suite. I will own a suite at Claridge's. I'm assuming Claridge's is some business, like a I don't know, a hotel or something like that in the story. I don't actually know the story, but that would be my guess. I will own a suite at Claridge's and own a fleet of carriages. It's not own, it's run. Run a fleet of carriages and wave at all the duchesses. Oh, there's no T in duchesses? Evidently not. With friendliness as much as is, befitting of my new estate. Good morrow to you, magistrate. I think I better think it out again. Yeah, it's definitely a very long song, but we're gonna keep on pushing through here. Or I say we're gonna keep learning it. But actually, we're gonna go back to the old way for a bit longer. It's definitely tedious learning a long song like this, and I do wonder what people who are actually really good at singing do, especially professional singers, to learn the lyrics to a song. I'm sure my way looks terribly stupid. So if you know what you're doing with memorizing song lyrics, let me know in the comments. A man's got a heart, hasn't he? Joking apart, hasn't he? And though I'd be the first one to say that I wasn't a saint, I'm finding it hard to be really as black as they paint. I'm reviewing the situation. Can a fellow be a villain all his life? So one thing I didn't realize, but maybe I should do this. Not now. I'm going to keep doing what I'm doing, but identifying which, like the different types of sentences. Like here we've got a couple of questions at the start. A man's got a heart, hasn't he? Joking apart, hasn't he? And then he kind of makes an apology and saying, well, I'd be the first one to say that I wasn't a saint. And then a kind of push back to say, but I'm also finding it hard to be really as black as they paint, meaning I'm not as bad as they say I am, whoever they is in the story. And so he's saying, I'm reviewing the situation. That's a statement. That's a declaration of what he's doing. I believe the character is male. Can a fellow be a villain all his life? That's the question. So I think in the sentence, he's confessing that he has been a villain and that he's not sure that he wants to go down that road forever. Okay. Now, I need to remember what the heck the next lyric is. A man's got a heart, hasn't he? Joking apart, hasn't he? And though I'd be the first one to say that I wasn't a saint, I'm finding it really hard to be black as they paint. I'm reviewing the situation. Can a villain be all his life? Can a fellow be a villain all his life? All the trials and tribulation. Better settle down and get myself a wife. And a wife would cook and sew for me, and come for me, and go for me, and go for me. The fingers will wag at me. I feel like, and yeah, that's what I'm missing. And nag at me. The fingers she will wag at me. The money she will take from me. The misery she'll make from me. Yeah. I think I better think it out again. Okay. The fingers she will wag at me, the money she will make from me, the misery she'll make from me. I think I better think it out again. A wife you can keep anyway. I'd rather sleep anyway. This is some kind of like, what is this person saying? The character, I should find out what the name of the character is, but the fingers she will wag at me. Maybe I should create a to-do here. So, what are some of the different things here that I should do later? Classify the types of sentences. Maybe I should also write down like an explicit interpretation of each sentence. I should learn at least the overall story, like what's the context of this song, learn the story behind the song, the background, context. Classify the types of sentences, interpretation of each sentence, provide an interpretation, questions, statements, and whatever else. Okay, so now I'm at that stage here where I need to remember what the heck the next lyric is. A wife you can keep anyway. I'd rather sleep anyway. I'm again tempted to say that it's the villains and thieves thing, but that's not it. It's some kind of refrain about, or some kind of statement about wanting to change, but I can't remember what it is. Let's review. Let's review what I got here. Because really, I didn't even get to a point of mastery with the stuff about the wife, and I think this is the next statement I'm missing here is a change in what the topic of the character's mind is covering. So a man's got a heart, hasn't he? Joking apart, hasn't he? And though I'd be the first one to say that I wasn't a saint, I'm finding it hard to be really as black as they paint. Good. I'm reviewing the situation. Can a fellow be a villain all his life? All the trials and tribulation. Better settle down and get myself a wife. And a wife would cook and sew for me, and come for me, and go for me, and go for me, and nag at me. The fingers she will wag at me. The money she will take from me. A misery she'll make from me. I think I better think it out again. A wife you can keep anyway. I'd rather sleep anyway. Ah, right. So, all right, the next sentence here is left without anyone in the world, and I'm starting from now. So, okay, I've kind of tried out two different memorization approaches in this video. One of them is this cumulative start at the beginning, go until you're uncertain, then go back and check it. And the other thing that I tried doing was not just going forward ahead. And I feel like there's like a subjective feeling that I'm making more progress when I just continue on ahead, the second approach. But actually I think I'm getting a more solid memorization of what I've already covered by the cumulative approach, even though it feels more tedious to cover the same stuff again and again and again. I think that's how the memorization stuff works at the end of the day. So it's quite a long song in terms of the amount of lyrics, but it feels like the general character of the melody doesn't change all that much. Left without anyone in the world, and I'm starting from now. So now I'm going to do the second approach. I can't help myself. I keep switching back where I try to do the cumulative, and then I'm like, ooh, I think I can kind of guess the next sentence. And I guess that's how I unify these two in my head. The first approach is to do the cumulative memorization, but seeing a hint of what the next thing is, like the word so. So how to win friends and to influence people. So how? I'm reviewing the situation, and then I don't really know. Okay, so let me think. Yeah, I think let's just go back to the beginning, or let's do the review now. See what I got right and wrong. A man's got a heart, hasn't he? Joking apart, hasn't he? And though I'd be the first one to say that I wasn't a saint, I'm finding it hard to be really as black as they paint. I'm reviewing the situation. Can a fellow be a villain all his life? All the trials and tribulation. Better settle down and get myself a wife. And a wife would cook and sew for me, and come for me, and go for me, and go for me, and nag at me. The fingers she will wag at me. The money she will take from me. A misery she'll make from me. I think I better think it out again. A wife you can keep anyway. I'd rather sleep anyway. Left without anyone in the world, and I'm starting from now. So how to win friends and to influence people. So how? I am reviewing the situation. Yes. Good. Wow, I actually got, unless I misread something, all of that correct. So the next lyrics, I must quickly look up everyone I know, titled People with a Station, who can help me make a real impressive show. So this is the part where it's like, what's the beginning? There's the part with own a suite at Claridge's and run a fleet of carriages, but like blah blah blah. But like, what's the word that goes here? I'm missing a word. Who can help? Oh, I'm also missing a word here. Who can help me make a real impressive show? So I would or will own a suite at Claridge's and run a fleet of carriages and wave at all the duchesses with friendliness as much as is befitting of my new estate. Good morrow to you, magistrate. I think I better think it out again. So this part is kind of interesting because maybe it's the kind of repeated theme in this song is he gets some idea in his head about how to improve his life, and then he starts thinking, oh, it wouldn't be any good. I think is roughly how this song works, or how the story works here. I must quickly look at everyone I know, titled people with a station who can help me make a real impressive show. So this is actually following from the so how to win friends and to influence people. So how? So I guess earlier on he's like, well, maybe I should all the trials and tribulation. Can a fellow be a villain all his life? And then he's like, here's an idea. Maybe I could get myself a wife. And then he says, this would be good. This would be good. Not sure if this means it's good or not. And then, oh, that wouldn't be good. Oh, that wouldn't be good. Oh, that wouldn't be good. Bad. Okay. Maybe something like that. So how to win friends and to influence people. So how? I'm reviewing the situation. This is kind of a question, right? Of saying, yes, okay, so there seems to be a pattern here. This is kind of, I don't know, called the introduction to the song in some sense. And then there's kind of a section here about, I don't know, I'm trying to connect, but I feel like there's a pattern here of like ask a question and all the trials and tribulation, better settle down, maybe get a wife. Well, I'll just simplify it to the idea is get a wife. How to not be a villain. One option is to get a wife. Okay, so no thanks, I guess is what he ends up thinking. So how to win friends and so this question is how to become influential, I think. It's kind of in the question here. I'm reviewing the situation. I must look up everyone I know. Titled people with a station who can help me make a real impressive show. So I would own a suite at Claridge's and run a fleet of carriages and wave at all the duchesses with friendliness as much as is befitting of my new estate. Good morrow to you, magistrate. So this part's kind of interesting. Good morrow to you, magistrate. If I'm to understand, I don't know, I'm trying to see the same thing that I see with the wife thing of like, seems like a good idea, and then he talks himself out of it. And then he gets to a conclusion here of, I think I better think it out again. And my understanding is that he imagines himself getting powerful and famous, influencing people, finding the right people to put on a good show so that he gets known. And then he would start owning stuff like a suite at Claridge's, running a business, waving at the duchesses. So maybe this is like a step of indirection to go, how would I get myself a wife, maybe? Or maybe just enjoying the attention, I'm not sure. And then with friendliness as much as is befitting of my new estate. So some kind of like thinking that he'll be part of higher society or something like that, maybe. This is all very speculative. Good morrow to you, magistrate. And I think that's the sentence that might be the sentence where, and I haven't read the story, so or watched the movie or whatever it is, the play. But my guess is that this is the negative downside of like maybe he knows the magistrate and the magistrate just like hates his guts or something like that. And so he's like, I better think it out again. That's my guess. Okay, so I didn't actually double check my work all the way through here, did I? I'm reviewing the situation. I must quickly look up everyone I know. Titled people with a station who can help me make a real impressive show. So I will. This one's an I will, not would. And that I don't know how to predict in this song of like when does the song say will or would, because it seems like with the example with the wife, the first sentence here about that involves the future is would, not will. And then here, I must quickly look up everyone I know. So I will. will. You know, it's just hard to know. Maybe it's just to make the timing of things match up in the song. I'm not really sure. Okay, who can help me make a real impressive show? I will. And there's no so. Okay, so it actually just jumps into I will own a suite at Claridge's. And I guess if we're taking this to be a proper noun, Claridge's should be capitalized. And run a fleet of carriages and wave at all the duchesses with friendliness as much as is befitting of my new estate. Good morrow to you, magistrate. I think I better think it out again. And so if I understand that right, maybe the magistrate really hates his guts, and so he's thinking, what else can I do? So the next lyric's just reading from the page. So where shall I go? Somebody. Who do I know? Nobody. This is the villains and thieves part, isn't it? All my, let's see if I can recall what is on the next page. All my friends and companions have always been villains and thieves. I'm finding it hard to turn over new leaves. Over new leaves. I'm reviewing the situation. I feel like, okay, it's probably time to go back and let's go to the top here because I've made a mess of things. And we'll just go through and find what I've gotten right and wrong. So the introduction doesn't matter. That's just my way of framing it. A man's got a heart, hasn't he? Joking apart, hasn't he? And so I'd be the first one to say that I wasn't a saint. I'm finding it hard to be really as black as they paint. I'm reviewing the situation. Can a fellow be a villain all his life? The trials and tribulation. Better settle down and get myself a wife. And a wife would cook and sew for me and come for me and go for me and go for me and nag at me. The fingers she will wag at me. The money she will take from me. A misery she'll make from me. I think I better think it out again. A wife you can keep anyway. I'd rather sleep anyway. Left without anyone in the world, and I'm starting from now. So, how to win friends and to influence people. So how? I'm reviewing the situation. I must quickly look up everyone I know. Titled people with a station who can help me make a real impressive show. I will own a suite at Claridge's and run a fleet of carriages and wave at all the duchesses with friendliness as much as is befitting of my new estate. Good morrow to you, magistrate. I think I better think it out again. That seems to be correct. So where shall I go? Somebody. Who do I know? Nobody. All my friends and companions have always been villains and thieves. So at my time... Yeah, so I got that part wrong. Eventually, you know that this lyric, I'm reviewing the situation, comes back because that's how that song works. But the leaves part, so at my time of life, I should start turning over new leaves. Then he says, I'm reviewing the situation. If you want to eat, you've got to earn a bob. Is it such a humiliation for a robber to perform an honest job. So, what this next part reminds me of is like the part with the wife in terms of how the lyrics go. Like the thing with the wife was, and a wife would cook and sew for me, and come for me, and go for me, and go for me, and nag at me. The finger she will wag at me. The money she will take from me, a misery shall make from me. And this part's, so a job I'm getting possibly. I wonder how the boss will be. I wonder if he'll take from me. What bonuses he'll make from me, make to me. I'll start at 8 and finish late. Finish late. At normal rate and all but wait. I think I better think it out again. So he kind of considers just going like, if I'm understanding this right, the first piece is, maybe I shouldn't be a villain all my life. And then the second part is, maybe getting a wife would solve that. Besides, that won't work. Maybe being kind of famous and influential will solve that. Maybe not. What about getting like an honest job? Maybe getting an honest job and following the rules would work. It's like, no, I don't really want to do that either. And maybe just reading ahead a little bit. So I think he's like, well, I don't want to be basically chained to a job. What happens when I'm 70? Must come a time 70 when you're old and it's cold, and who cares if you live or you die? Your one consolation's the money you may have put by. So at the end, he's kind of saying the answer is money. It's not the end of the song, sorry. And then he says, I'm reviewing the situation. And I think he's turning to the dark side of the force here, because he's saying, I'm a bad and a bad I shall stay. You'll be seeing no transformation, but it's wrong to be a rogue in every way. And so maybe this is some kind of compromise of like, he had a couple of visions of just being like a purely good person or a purely influential person or something like that. And now he's just like, wow, you can't do without the money part, but maybe I shouldn't be completely bad. I don't want nobody hurt for me or made to do the dirt for me. This rotten life is not for me. It's getting far too hot for me, which maybe is like a reference to hell, or maybe that's just saying like he's gotten into too much trouble. Don't want no one to rob for me, but who will find a job for me? I don't care what they've got for me, but who will change the plot for me? I think I better think it out again. Hey. So I think that the last part, the song doesn't feel like he comes to a solid conclusion. It's a state of confusion, of going, I don't want to be bad. Maybe I should get a wife. Oh, but a wife is not what I want. Maybe I should become influential. But maybe there's a problem with being influential, like the magistrate. No, I don't want to do that. Okay. Well, I'm starting to feel like my head's a little bit full of lyrics here. And so while there's still a ways to go with memorizing this song, I'm going to take a little break and we'll get back to this soon enough.